Hey there, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into a story that might just change the way you think about possessions and happiness. It's called The Monk's Last Possession. Have you ever wondered what it would be like to own nothing? To live with just the bare essentials? Well, that's exactly what we're going to explore today. Let me paint a picture for you. Imagine a peaceful monastery nestled in the mountains. The air is crisp, and the only sounds you hear are the gentle rustling of leaves and the occasional ring of a distant bell. In this monastery lives a monk who has dedicated his life to simplicity and spiritual growth. He owns nothing but a small bowl and a robe. That's it. Nothing else. Now, you might be thinking, how can someone live like that? It's a valid question, especially in our world where we're constantly bombarded with ads telling us to buy more stuff. But here's the thing, this monk is one of the happiest people you'll ever meet. His face is always lit up with a serene smile. He radiates peace and contentment. So, what's his secret? How can someone with so little be so happy? That's what we're going to unpack today. Let's start by looking at the monk's daily routine. He wakes up at dawn, meditates, and then goes about his day serving others in the monastery. He eats simple meals, studies ancient texts, and spends time in nature. At night, he sleeps on a thin mat on the floor. Nothing fancy, right? But here's where it gets interesting. One day, a wealthy businessman visits the monastery. He's stressed out, always checking his phone, and can't seem to relax. The businessman is fascinated by the monk's lifestyle and asks him, "How can you be so happy with so little?" The monk smiles and says, "I am happy because I need very little to be happy." This response baffles the businessman. He's spent his whole life accumulating wealth and possessions, thinking they'd bring him happiness. But here's this monk, with practically nothing, who seems far happier than he is. The monk goes on to explain his philosophy. He says, the more you own, the more your possessions own you. Think about that for a second. How much time do we spend working to buy things? Then maintaining those things? Worrying about those things? It's a never-ending cycle. The monk shares a story from his own life. Before becoming a monk, he was a successful teacher. He had a nice house, a car, and lots of material possessions. But he always felt like something was missing. He was always chasing the next thing, thinking it would finally make him happy. Sound familiar? One day, he realized that all these things were weighing him down. They weren't bringing him the happiness he thought they would. So, he decided to let it all go and become a monk. Now, I'm not saying we should all become monks. That's not the point of this story. The point is to make us think about what truly brings us happiness. Is it the latest smartphone? A bigger house? A fancier car? Or is it something else entirely? Let's break this down a bit. The monk found happiness in three main things. First, purpose. He spent his days serving others and working on his spiritual growth. Second, relationships. He had deep, meaningful connections with his fellow monks and the people he served. Third, experiences. He found joy in simple things like watching a sunset or feeling a cool breeze. Now, think about your own life. When were you happiest? Was it when you bought something new? Or was it when you were spending time with loved ones? Maybe it was when you accomplished something you worked hard for? The monk's wisdom challenges us to rethink our relationship with possessions. It's not about getting rid of everything you own. It's about being mindful of what you bring into your life. Before buying something, ask yourself, will this truly make me happier? Or am I just trying to fill a void? Here's a little exercise you can try. Take a look around your room right now. How many things do you see that you haven't used in the past year? How many of these things actually bring you joy? You might be surprised by the answer. The monk's story teaches us that true wealth isn't measured by what we own. It's measured by the richness of our experiences, the depth of our relationships, and the purpose we find in life. Now, you might be thinking, that's all well and good, but I can't just give up everything and live like a monk. And you're right. We live in a world where we need certain things to function in society. but we can take small steps towards simplifying our lives. Here are a few practical tips. First, try a decluttering challenge. Each day for a month, get rid of one thing you don't need. You'll be amazed at how much lighter you feel. Second, practice gratitude. Every night before bed, write down 3 things you're grateful for. This helps shift your focus from what you don't have to what you do have. Third, invest in experiences rather than things. Instead of buying a new gadget, use that money to learn a new skill or take a trip. Fourth, nurture your relationships. Spend quality time with friends and family. These connections are far more valuable than any possession. Lastly, find your purpose. What makes you feel fulfilled? What kind of impact do you want to have on the world? When you're clear on your purpose, material things become less important. Remember, the goal isn't to live with just a bowl and a robe like the monk. It's to find a balance that works for you. A balance where your possessions enhance your life rather than control it. As we wrap up this video, I want to share one last thought from the monk. When asked what his most prized possession was, he smiled and said, "This moment." He explained that the present moment is all we truly have. It's the only place where we can find true happiness. So, I challenge you to take a moment right now. Take a deep breath. Look around you. Feel the air on your skin. This moment, right here, right now, is your most valuable possession. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up and consider sharing it with a friend. Don't forget to subscribe for more content like this. Thanks for watching, and remember, true wealth isn't in your wallet, it's in your heart. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.